Okay, so if you're an instructor, you know how important it is to support all your students. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful tool that's probably already sitting inside your Blackboard course right now. It's called Ally, and it's designed to make creating accessible content not just easier, but a totally natural part of how you build your courses. So, let's jump right in.
You know, this quote from Lucy Greco at UC Berkeley just hits the nail on the head. The issue isn't that instructors don't care about accessibility. Of course you do. It's about workflow. I mean, with everything else on your plate, how are you supposed to find the time to learn and apply all these complex guidelines before a problem even pops up? And that's a huge hurdle, right?
But what if we could lower that hurdle? A lot. What if you had a little guide sort of working right there alongside you, pointing things out as you go? Making accessibility just a normal part of your process instead of some big task you have to tackle at the end.
Well, that's exactly where Blackboard Ally comes in. And I want you to think of it less as another piece of software you have to learn and more like a partner. It's kind of like having an accessibility spell checker that just works right where you do. So what is it really? Well, Ally is a tool that plugs directly into Blackboard, so you never have to leave your course page. As you upload files or create content, it just quietly scans them in the background, automatically checking for the most common accessibility issues. It's seamless. And this part is absolutely crucial. The goal here isn't to add one more thing to your to-do list. It's there to give you real-time, actually helpful guidance. It's all about empowerment and support, not just ticking some compliance box. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this actually works. How does Ally give you this feedback right when you need it most? It's actually a super simple 3-step process. First, you'll start noticing these little colored dials next to your content. That's Ally. You click it, and it gives you a score from 0 to 100%. But here's the best part. It then gives you simple, step-by-step instructions on how to make that score better.
The feedback is really easy to understand because it's visual. So if you see this red dial, that's Ally's way of saying, whoa, stop. It means your content has a low score. There are some pretty significant barriers here that really need your immediate attention.
Now, an orange dial puts you in the medium range. This basically means your file is on its way, but it definitely needs some improvements to be accessible for all of your students. And don't worry, Ally will walk you through exactly what to do to boost that score. And this is the goal, the green dial. When you see green, it means your content has a high score and is considered accessible. It gives you a really clear visual target to aim for with every single piece of content you create. So what kind of things are we talking about here? Ally helps you fix the most common high-impact stuff. You know, things like an image that's missing a description for a screen reader, or a document without proper headings that makes it a nightmare to navigate. It'll even flag text that's too light against its background, or tables that aren't set up right. Now, fixing these little issues is obviously great, but it all builds towards the real payoff. The true magic of Ally is the incredible impact it has on every single student in your course. Because think about it, everything we've talked about so far is what you do. But the single biggest benefit of this tool happens completely behind the scenes without you having to lift a finger. Get this, for every file you upload, Ally automatically generates a whole suite of alternative formats for students to download. This is a game changer. A student who learns best by listening can grab an MP3 audio version. Another can get an EPUB for their e-reader. It even creates versions for Braille readers and a special format called Beeline Reader that helps with faster on-screen reading. This is universal design for learning in action, and it helps everyone, not just students with a documented disability. And that's exactly why institutions are getting so excited about it. As Heather Tilburg-Webb points out, faculty are actually interested in using this because it aligns perfectly with modern inclusive teaching. It's not a chore, it's a better way to teach. This really leads us to the bigger picture. When you use Ally, you're not just fixing a single document. You're actually contributing to a more accessible and more effective learning environment across your entire institution. As Jared Smith from WebAIM says, Ally gives your institution a 30,000-foot view. It helps administrators see the common challenges that faculty are facing. And what does that mean for you? It means your institution can target its resources and training where they're needed most, so you get more effective, more relevant support to help you build the best course you possibly can. So the next time you're in your course, look for that little colored dial. You don't have to fix everything all at once. Just ask yourself this question. What's one small fix I can make today? Adding a description to one image, fixing the contrast on one document,
that will open a door for one of my students tomorrow. That's the real power of Ally.